Were you getting panic attacks or anxiety?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Panic attacks and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that it was anxiety? Because people think they're dying when they first
No,
have
it was
a panic
anxiety.
attack.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah.
I had 14 amazing years, and you sort of live in a bubble. You work hard, you have your comfort, you come home, the dog, the house and everything, and
Very
all of a
domestic.
sudden you break up, and that changed a lot. I was a very different person. I mean, I was the one who made the choice to
Right.
quit the whole situation, but that changed everything. It was quite traumatic to come from this very comfortable life and all of a sudden you're on your own. Back then I was like, no. I needed to see people, I needed to be surrounded by people. No, burnout did not exist, and you work as if it was your own company. You didn't get too many boundaries. I would still go on and on and on.
Do you think you were a workaholic at that stage already?
I think so. I've always been a hard worker. I think I became a workaholic. I had no choice.
He's the Belgian-French perfumer behind cult fragrance house Goldfield Banks, and his story is as layered as his scents. After working with the world's great fashion houses like YSL and Tom Ford, Dimitri Weber followed his heart, and a true romance, to Australia. Captivated by its untamed beauty and singular botanicals, he began translating the landscape into perfume. Goldfield Banks was his fragrant love letter in return. In this episode of Beautiful Inside by Beauticate, he invites Sigourney into his chic Port Douglas home after a trip to the tropics to witness the harvest of precious Australian oud. He opens up about heartbreak, starting over, and the emotional moments that inspired his most iconic creations.
Welcome to Beautiful Inside. I'm Sigourney Cantelo. For over 20 years as a magazine beauty and health director and founder of Beauticate, I've shared stories about how to be beautiful on the outside. But recently, I've also been on my own journey to uncover what it means to be beautiful within. Inspired by my own experiences with mental health and healing, I'm meeting people who have remarkable stories to share. How have they come back from the brink of adversity and reclaimed their power? How do they continue to nurture their inner selves while creating space for joy, beauty, and well-being? Now, before we dive in, I have a small favour to ask you. You have no idea what a difference it makes. Yep, you guessed it. Please hit subscribe or follow. This small gesture means that we'll have greater reach, better scope for guests, and more resources to make this show the very best that it can be. And feel free to comment on YouTube and tell me what you want to see more of. And together we can keep these important conversations going and continue to explore the link between inner and outer beauty. Now, this season 5 of Beautiful Inside is brought to you by Blue Haven Pools. Now, pools have become much more than just a place to cool off. They're now wellness spaces in their own right. A moment in nature, magnesium mineral water for your skin, even a cold plunge in winter. We chose Blue Haven for our recent pool build because they've had over 50 years of experience building beautiful pools. We went with a custom concrete pool because they can be as creative as your Pinterest board. And if you're on a standard block, they've made it unbelievably easy. You can now literally buy a designer concrete pool online. Still owned by the founding family, CEO Ramonda brings both heart and intuitive design to every build. And a big thank you to Blue Haven for sponsoring this season. Stay tuned for our pool diaries at the end of this episode, where I take you behind the scenes of our build with Blue Haven. I'll also put some details in the show notes. Beautiful Inside acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land that this podcast is recorded on, and we pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Thank you for having me in your beautiful Port Douglas home. We're in the tropics, really, aren't we?
We're in the tropics.
This is
so good to have you here.
so lovely. And thank you. We've just had the most magical few days together, learning all about
so much
Goldfield
fun.
Banks, and you took us to the home of where you harvest the agar wood, and it's been really special. So
Yeah.
thanks for bringing us along.
It was a special 48 hours. And look, it's not over yet.
It's not. Well, this is the best part.
Everyone flew back, you stayed.
That's right. I'm lucky. Aren't I lucky? So with Beautiful Inside, we go back to the very beginning and, talk about childhood and how we came to be who we are. So tell me a little bit about your childhood.
My childhood, well, I was born French father, Belgian mother from Antwerp, Flemish mother. My parents had a very particular job or career in ships. So we actually grew up for quite a few years on a barge. So my parents had a company with, we were living on a barge.
No way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's something very, very European. Obviously, it doesn't exist here in Australia.
Yeah.
But that was very special because my parents were traveling most of the time all around France, all the little canals, all the little rivers.
So what was this business? I mean, what were the barges doing?
They were transporting. It was a transport company.
Goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a transport company, so they would move from one barge to another, and so. But we had our own main ship where we would live. We
What
had
was
a
that like?
bedroom and
Yeah.
well, it was like living on
A
basically on a ship.
What sort of ship? Was it like
It was small. It's like those beautiful barges you see in
like a
Europe.
houseboat? Oh yeah.
Yeah, like a houseboat, but half. I mean, obviously you have to transport some goods. 40 meters and yeah, all very small and tidy and yeah.
And you had one brother.
It was great. One brother.
How older, younger?
Older.
Yeah.
3 years older.
3 years older.
Yeah, fantastic.
So how many years did you live on the barge?
Well, I mean, I lived until I was 5 or 5.5, until I went to boarding school, and I started school, really. So that was great. Yeah, and then we always went back in summertime, Christmas, Easter, or whenever my parents had the opportunity to come and pick us up.
That would have been tough.
Yeah.
Leaving at 5 to go and live
I
in boarding
know.
school.
It
How
was very
that?
tough. It was very
Yeah.
tough. But at the same time, I made peace, with
Yeah.
that. I mean, obviously, in the beginning, it was hard because obviously I was crying for the first few years, missing my mom, missing my dad, missing my home. But at the end, there were different times, I mean, my parents did the best they could, and we had a great school. We had the best school.
Where was it?
It was in Belgium. Yeah. So at
So
least
they were
we
still in France?
Yeah, so they were traveling all around. They were traveling in Holland and in Belgium and in France and in Germany, a bit everywhere. So it was very hard for them to, obviously we couldn't go to normal school because they were all over the shop. But at least we had a great school and we had a very safe environment and with beautiful teachers, beautiful people. So that was sort of like my childhood. And then obviously, yeah, I mean...
How do you think that shaped you, all that moving around?
I think I was a very emotional child. I was very shy, obviously. Always protected by my teachers, though. They always wanted to protect me, and that was always a great feeling because I was sort of like a precious
gentle
little child, and they were always on the lookout for any bad boys at school.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
So they felt protective
And they
of
really
you.
protected me all the way in all these
Yeah.
years that I stayed there.
What do you think it was about you that sort of drew them to you and made them sort of want to look after you like that?
I don't know. We were very close. We were always very close. I think even though I was a child, I was very mature in my way of talking and approach. And obviously, as a child, I was very intrigued and I had a passion for perfumes
Yes.
already at a very early age.
Yes.
So obviously, women,
Yes.
fragrance,
They detected that interest in you.
they detected that interest in me, anything fashion, anything beauty, anything fragrances. So obviously that created a bond with most of those teachers at school, and then sort of naturally.
You've said that you had this uncanny sort of knack for being able to pick what they were wearing, what fragrance they were, and you could remember all the fragrances.
I remember that.
Even as a little boy. Like, how
As
old
a
were
little
you doing
boy.
that?
I know I was 7, 8, 9 years old. Even the teachers at school would come and collect small samples of perfumes and would give them to me, and we would swap. Sometimes I got samples from someone else, and then we would swap teachers
that's cute.
and make them discover some new fragrances or different fragrances. So yes.
Do you remember what your favourite fragrances were back then?
Well, back in the days, we had fragrances in Europe such as Ted Lapidus, Unknown, Giacomo, very big Parisian brands. There were couture brands though. And then, of course, I mean, it was the early 80s, so you would have Coco by Chanel, Estée Lauder had beautiful campaigns and beautiful fragrances back then as well. So there was only a handful of brands, really, but they were the top end brands.
And can you sum up your childhood in a few cents? Can you think of what was it like, growing up in that time and being on the barges? Were there sort of certain scents that you kind of now have brought
Yes.
back, the smell of the ocean, for example? Or...
Serenity. That's the thing that I can recall is, when you drive your boats on those canals and rivers you have in Europe, and especially in France, those very cute locks. And some of those areas are like from the 17th century or 18th century, and old locks. And when you drive a boat into a lock and the lock goes down.
No, I don't.
And then
but I can imagine.
the water goes down, and then you exit the lock, and then you
Oh,
going to another level of the river,
Oh, is that
another
right?
level of the canal, and then that's how you move from one
Okay.
spot to another, or from one river you're going to another river. It's through locks, like a real
Okay.
lock.
Okay.
And so what I so remember is water going down, and as soon as my father would exit the boat out of the lock, you would have the smell of the walls,
Oh,
the mossy
smell.
the mossy smell of the
Yes.
walls of those locks, and that freshness and that crisp cleanliness, serenity, very nature, very green. Sort of like we have today, very
Yes.
tropical in a way. I mean, it wasn't that tropical in France.
Tropical, yes.
But,
but that
but that-
aqueous sort of
Yeah, yeah.
salty.
Bucolic.
Yeah, bucolic. I like it. Okay. What sort of little boy were you? You always said you were sensitive, you know, quite creative, were you?
Yes, I was quite creative. I loved fashion. I loved, dressing up and doing all sorts of stupid things when you're a child. But I was very creative. I loved fashion. I loved fabrics. I loved beautiful clutches, and I was,
Did your parents nurture that within you? How did they feel about this side?
My mom did.
Yeah.
My mom did. My father, not at all. My mom did. My mom was always very, what we call in French, coquette. Always a beautiful lipstick,
Well
always
presented.
hair well presented. And she would make the most beautiful dresses and the most beautiful clothes, even for my brother and myself. Yeah.
Wow, so she would make the clothes for you.
Yes,
Even on the
absolutely.
barge. Did
Oh,
she have
yeah.
a sewing machine?
Yeah, exactly. She had a sewing machine, and because when you drive for hours and hours and hours, my mom obviously had to do something.
Yeah.
So she would make clothes.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a nice memory. Yeah.
It's a
so
very
you
nice
were always,
memory.
were you helping her, and
Yeah.
you were involved with all the fabrics and?
Yes, and she would even make the clothes for my Barbie. I had a Barbie.
Oh,
doll.
did you?
She'd make beautiful skirts, a beautiful top, and things like that.
And she loved that and brought that out in you. How beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
And was your brother into that sort of thing too? or
Not
was-
at all.
No,
he
more-
wasn't Lego building, and then he wanted to become an architect. And we had this conversation
Yes.
this afternoon. So, no, he was more into building, Playmobil,
Yeah.
Lego, building houses, building, castles and things like that.
And so then you went off to boarding school, and your parents stayed on the boats, did they?
Yeah, for many
many
more
years?
years, and then so we went. Obviously, we went to school with my brother, and we sort of lived. We were very fortunate that our parents bought us a lovely apartment in Belgium where we could live and be independent. And
So
that's
after
sort of
school, you mean?
after school, and that's when life sort of started. I mean, it was still school though, but it was sort of like at the end, and that's when life started.
Yeah.
Really.
So what did you do then?
I studied arts. I worked in fragrances, and I was quite rebellious as well. And
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had a partner back then. He was a fashion designer, and so he would spend a lot of time in Paris and do a lot of crazy things for a few years.
So
But
this is the 90s?
This is the 90s.
How fun.
Yeah,
What
the
a fun
90s was
time to
amazing.
be partying in
The
Paris with your
90s
partner.
were amazing. The best nightclubs
Fashion
everywhere.
designer.
Best nightclubs in London, best nightclubs in Belgium. Belgium had really, really good, great nightclubs. And then, we had some iconic clubs like
Yes.
the Queen in Paris, which no longer exists,
No.
which was an iconic
the
club. Les Bains Douches and things like that. So it was really, the 90s were amazing.
When did
Beautiful
Rasputin?
years.
I've only been to Rasputin. Is that when?
Oh, God. No, that was later.
That's a later. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was later. But yeah, the 90s were, when you think back, it was really, anything was possible.
Yeah.
Everything was sort of new. Techno was new.
Yes.
Electronic
dance
music
parties.
was new.
And the supermodels, and the
the
glamour.
supermodels. Yeah, we lived this whole period. I had a girlfriend, and she had always like Vogue magazines, and before I started buying them, she was a bit older than me, and we were both obsessed with,
Yeah.
Claudia Schiffer
Yes.
and Cindy Crawford.
Yeah.
These were the models, and then Kate Moss came along, and that was power. Fashion was interesting. Fashion was uplifting, creative. Compared to now, everything is about money and everything is business driven.
Yeah, it has
Very
changed.
transactional.
Yeah. There was and at the time of glamour as well, when it was just like, it's such a different. There's so many different ways to be glamorous and fashionable now, but back
Yeah.
then it was quite a specific, prescriptive look and beauty and
yeah. And even we came out of the 80s where fashion was already very bold and colorful, and you know, you had brands like Thierry Mugler and Claude Montana. Even the fragrance bottles were starting to become more exuberant and more extravagant. People playing with, you know, shapes, and people would, I mean, fashion designers would work with bottle designers like, you know, Pierre Dinant and all that sort of thing. So it was a very bold era.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Whereas now everything has to be very clean, very sober, not too many colors. Like it's all a bit.
Yeah, it's a different, definitely.
Yeah.
And tell me, how did you end up then working with fragrances? Because that was that YSL?
Yeah, YSL. Yeah, I had the opportunity to, I worked with an agency, which was great. I mean, I worked with you know, when you're a student and you want to make some money, I wasn't so keen on working in hospitality because that was so not my thing.
That's right.
So
you said the smell of the kitchens was...
The smell of the kitchens is absolutely awful.
Too much.
And I didn't want to work into hospitality at all. So I was trying to find a job working with perfumes, and I had obviously the opportunity to work with an agency who took me on, and I worked in the weekends for, you know, like spraying perfume in department stores, and that was my thing.
Yeah.
Loved all that.
So that would have been the 90s as well still?
Yeah, 93, 94, like the launch, you know, we just launched Thierry Mugler, Angel was out then, big. Issey Miyake, L'Odyssée was out, 1992, 93. So it was really, and perfumery was a privilege. It was a privilege to work in that environment. You were either accepted, you had to work hard, but it was a milestone when you got to that stage where you were accepted to work in a department store as, you know, a promo boy, promo girl, whatever, beauty advisor they call it today. It was, oh my God, you entered into a temple. It was...
Wow.
It was this whole luxury
pinnacle.
environment. The pinnacle. Yeah. And you would take your job seriously.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh my God, it's a 9 to 5. No. Like if there was a customer after 6 p.m., you would still, you know, serve the customer, and it was,
the old days of retail.
The old days
when
of
you
retail.
could find someone to assist you in a department store.
But it was.
Which store was it that you were working at?
It was. Well, I worked at a department store in Belgium. And then I did a few months, I worked in a department store in Paris, the Galeries Lafayette, which was for another brand called Sisley.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and oh my God, they were...
So you were working for Sisley's skincare as well?
Yes,
or just
for
the
1
fragrance?
year. For 1 year, yeah.
Wow.
For 1 year. It was amazing.
And did you love it? So were you like the beauty industry?
Look, obviously working in Galeries Lafayette was a great experience.
Yeah.
It was very tough because that business was already back then very much about targets and milestones and figures and all that. Whereas I was always sort of more in dreamland. Perfumes was for me more like pleasure than business. So I didn't last long in that business because it wasn't my thing. Like, I really wanted to work in fragrances. And then I had the opportunity to work for 7 years with YSL.
Yes, so tell me about that. So you just started working your way through marketing?
Exactly.
You started at the bottom of marketing
and then bottom,
and sales?
Working with customers, in department stores, in perfumeries, traveling around.
So were you doing education then?
Education, presenting novelties, selling to customers, doing events, doing masterclasses. Back then it was very, masterclasses in the 90s were, it was a privilege to attend to a masterclass in a hotel. Customers would come. You know, we would organize beauty sessions, you know, with journalists, would come, spend the whole day. Not like now, it's so all different. About, you know, you do an event after a year, people have to go. But back then people, I mean, especially journalists would stay like a whole day on a masterclass and discover new products and testing and
what was the most over-the-top launch that you worked on?
I think when it became really exciting was when, I mean, YSL, when I worked there, was sold to Gucci. The Gucci period was a very interesting era because it was, the corporate environment came to life. Like it was, you went from a brand and from sort of like, from fun years, you entered into corporate. So Gucci Group was formed and they bought brands like YSL, and then they bought like licenses, they had licenses of Stella McCartney and things like that. So things became very corporate, but then we also had very set budgets. And we did incredible launches. We had, the sky was the limit. We had launches like a fragrance called Nu, N-U, which was Tom Ford's first fragrance for YSL. Why we had amazing budgets. We would do parties at passenger terminals,
Yeah.
movie theaters.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we had so many fun times. And then after those years, I worked for many years with fragrance brands like Jean Paul Gaultier and Issey Miyake, where we had huge budgets.
I'm sure.
Big parties, amazing things.
So you really like...
That's what I loved. I really loved this whole part of education, but entertainment, like organizing a big party, sharing newness, you know, like making people excited about a new fragrance, a new launch. Because back then a new launch was really, you only had 4 or 5 big launches a year.
Yes, right.
In the industry, you had, you know, one new Dior, you had
Wow.
one new Jean Paul Gaultier, and you had one new, you know, I don't know, YSL.
Yeah.
Whereas today you have hundreds of
Hundreds.
launches, and but
Yes.
back then it was big deal. It was
Yeah.
a big deal.
Yeah.
So you played with big budgets, but at the same time it was, you had to get the most out of it.
A
after
smaller
that as well.
market. Yeah.
And get the most out of it,
Yeah.
like in terms of return on investment. was-
Yes, okay, so there was higher
And
stakes.
it worked.
Higher stakes.
Yeah, it worked. Like
Yeah.
every day, like every event, people would go back into the, you know, into the stores and start selling, and
Yeah.
it was.
So the sales were just like, very different.
Very different era.
time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess you learnt that, you know, the storytelling of scent back then, and it would have been an amazing time. So working in fashion is hard, and beauty. Like it's a pretty competitive industry. Stakes are high, you know.
But you have to be passionate.
Yes.
You need a passion. I mean, you need to love what you do. Otherwise,
Yes.
it's very hard.
Yeah. Was there ever a point during that time, you remember, where you were feeling uncertain? Like, did you always you've always had passion, clearly. But were there moments where you were like, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Is this...
Never occurred to me. I always had fun. I had the best jobs. I was always privileged. I mean, and obviously, by growing into that role and growing into the companies, I mean, obviously, I had a lot more responsibilities, and I was more involved in other parts of the business, like merchandising, like, you know, consulting, in marketing, you know, communication, in PR, in education, in sales, and everything. So I always had fun. It was a lot of fun. It was hard work.
Yes.
But it was fun.
Was there burnout? I mean,
No.
at that age? No, you were just...
No burnout. Did not exist.
So what were the hard parts during that time? Do you remember any time in those years where you were like,
I
this
don't
is
know.
hard,
I
challenging?
think I've always been a perfectionist.
Yeah.
That was hard because obviously it was not my brand.
Yeah.
You just work for another brand, and then you feel it's your own brand, and you work as if it was your own company. You don't get too many boundaries. Like I would still go on and on and on. Even in the weekends, even on holidays, I would check my emails. When email started, because before that we didn't have a lot of emails. But I would still go on, checking out if everything's okay, if the team's all right, if, you know, the sales are good, or if someone needed something,
So do you think you were a workaholic at that stage already?
I think so. I've always been a hard worker. I think I became a workaholic. I had no choice, obviously with the business today, with Goldfield Banks. But I was passionate. I didn't think. Of course, we had a great life, and we had a lot of, you know, we traveled a lot and had a fantastic life with my partner. And
Yes.
But I never felt like I was working hard. Not as now.
Because you were passionate. Yeah, no, we'll get to that. And so, I mean, many of our guests have experienced, you know, trauma or experiences that were transformational at some point in their life. Was there anything that stands out in your memory that was like that for you?
I think my breakup with my partner, my previous partner, after 14 years.
14.
Yeah, after 14 years. It
So
was
that
a
was
long
the
period.
fashion designer?
You know when you... Oh, no, that was much earlier. That was
Okay.
when I was very young. No, I had a fantastic partner, and you know, we lived for 14 years, and that was the period where I worked with, you know, with YSL, when I worked with, you know, BPI, those perfumes from Jean Paul Gaultier and all that. I had 14 amazing years, and you sort of live in a bubble. You work hard, you have your comfort, you come home, the dog, you know, the house and everything, and
Very
all
domestic.
of a sudden, very domestic. And then, you know, you break up, and that changed a lot. I was a very different person. I mean, I was the one who made the choice to
Right.
quit
Yeah.
the whole situation. But that changed everything. It was quite traumatic to come from this very comfortable life, and all of a sudden you're on your own, and you have to undertake a lot of steps and things, and you move out of the house, you buy a new apartment, you live alone with the dog, you experience a new life. It's a completely new life.
Why did you decide to end it?
I think after 14, I mean, between your 21st, 22nd, and your 34th or 35th, you're a different person.
Yeah.
You're not the same person. You have different aspirations. And I was very ambitious.
Was he in the industry too?
And he was not at all, not at all. Well, he was a hairdresser, so he was sort of in
similar
the industry. But
adjacent.
but he was very like steady, loved his environment, loved his job, like, same city, everything. Whereas I was traveling around the world and I was everywhere. So it was, it was very different. And I wanted more. I was young. I was, 33, 34, and I felt like, I want to conquer the world.
Yes. You want to go to Australia?
That's it.
So
which I did.
How long were you
3
alone
years later.
for after that? Like how long?
3 years.
3 years? Were you in Paris or where
No,
were you?
no, I was in
Still
Belgium.
by then?
Yeah. I had an amazing apartment in Antwerp. I had my business, my own agency,
Oh, did
consultancy
you?
agency. Yeah. So it was
Okay.
great. It was really, really cool. Like I had the most amazing clients, the most amazing brands that I work with. As a contractor, great.
So what were you doing? So you were doing
Education,
training,
PR, events, consulting and marketing.
all in the fragrance industry?
All in the fragrance industry. So I had really a lot of different brands that I work with, from Tom Ford Beauty to, I still remained on my clients like Narcisse Rodriguez fragrances and Gaultier fragrances and Cartier.
Yes,
a few
Cartier,
years, who sent me to Australia.
Yes.
So all these brands, and it was quite amazing.
Okay. We're in Belgium still, having your own agency, life is fabulous, you've split with your partner, you've had 3 years by yourself with the dog.
Those years were rough, I can tell you.
Were
I mean,
they?
rough in the sense that, you rediscover yourself.
Yes. What did you find out? What
Sorry,
did you find out?
The magic of certain apps, and the freedom.
Freedom, that's
Terrible.
right, being a single man.
Being a single man. But it wasn't always that fun though. I
No.
mean, because you're sort of like lost after all these years being in this
The bubble.
environment, in the bubble.
Yeah, domestic
Oh
bliss.
wow, everything comes together, like your traumas from your childhood,
Yes.
like all of that comes together.
Yeah.
But then I'm released. Like
What
it's
traumas from your
all-
childhood?
No, I mean the
You
fact
know-
that I was very young when I went to boarding
Yes,
school, like
okay,
that
yes.
affected me enormously.
Did you ever do any therapy around that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
I did, and it helped me enormously. Yeah, I did.
In Belgium or?
Yeah, in Belgium. Yeah.
And did you?
I had a therapist and it worked.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're a big advocate
I mean, I
for
think
therapy.
it's a matter of talking about it and being completely honest with yourself.
Do you think, when you were doing the therapy that you were showing up in relationships, like did you have a fear of abandonment from boarding school or like what do you?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Oh, 100%. It was hard to be alone for a few years. Or to be on my own.
Yes.
Now I'm very happy. I'm very happy to be on my own. I love being on my own. Several days.
Yeah.
But back then I was like, no. I
Absolutely.
needed to see people, I needed to be surrounded by people, and it was, yeah.
You had to discover who you were by yourself.
Yeah.
And
Oh, 100%.
yeah, it's is that just the time when you were by yourself in those 3 years? Is that when you took yourself off to therapy and dealt with all that stuff?
Yeah, I
Or-
did.
or did you do
and
it
it
when you
didn't
were
take
still in a
long.
relationship?
It didn't take long.
Really?
No, it didn't take long. I mean, as soon as you know what's wrong and as soon as you know how to deal with it and what to do, like, you have to pamper yourself. There was little tricks that
Yes,
helped.
what
And I
were some of the
remember
tools?
one of those tricks was to cover yourself with your favorite blanket
Yes.
and just do nothing for an hour or something and just pamper yourself, things like that.
And what?
Take a deep breath and just,
So were you getting anxiety?
take a step back.
Were you getting panic attacks or anxiety?
Oh
that
yeah,
would-
100%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Panic attacks and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that it was anxiety? Because people think they're dying when they first
No,
have
it was
a panic attack.
anxiety. Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah.
And then I met someone, and then I thought it was, he was a great partner, and then it turned out that he was not. But these are things. This is normal. This is life.
Of course it is. It's totally
life.
normal.
It's life.
But people don't talk about it enough.
No,
That's
exactly
why
not.
we need to
And there are ways to recover.
Yes.
From
so the
this.
blanket, I love
The
that
blanket
one. Just don't do
and
anything.
pampering yourself.
Yes.
And I started traveling on my own. That was not a thing. I started traveling on my own.
As in
overseas.
for pleasure, not just for work?
For pleasure, yeah.
Where did
for
you go?
pleasure. Everywhere. I would go on a weekend, a long weekend. I would fly. I would open a map and look at the weather forecast and see where is there sun in Europe. And I would fly to wherever the temperatures were great and wherever there was sun. I would fly just for a long weekend or
What were your
few
happiest
days.
memories or your favourite destinations that you visited in that time?
South of France.
Yeah.
South of France,
Always.
definitely. Always and forever South of France. Probably because I don't know, because I love it and I love the food and it was just the place where I felt so at
like
home.
Saint-Tropez, Cannes,
Côte d'Azur, just in
Côte
general,
d'Azur.
or Côte Varoise as we call it, South of France, just the whole strip is
Yeah.
good. Even Marseille is very nice. Or even going to Spain or just traveling on my own, I liked it because I had to feel that I was working on my own.
Yeah.
I would prove myself that I was capable of traveling on my own and that I would have a lot of fun on my own, which I did at the end.
So you proved it to yourself.
Yeah. And it's good because you fly back and then you have this great feeling of, oh my God, that was great. Spend a weekend on my own. It was amazing.
I know exactly what you mean though about, not wanting to be by yourself. And I think it is a fear of abandonment thing when you've had stuff happen in childhood where you're surrounded by people, particularly with boarding school. Like that's so, you were never alone, right? From
No,
age 5,
I was
you were
never
surrounded
alone.
by people.
Always.
So that would have been terrifying.
Always.
And the silence.
I know,
Lucky
I
you had a
know.
dog.
I had a dog.
What sort
and
of
I had
dog?
lots of friends. I mean,
Yeah.
I was really surrounded by so many amazing friends and still am.
And it got you through that point.
But yeah, sometimes you don't always want to see them because you're working on yourself and you want to be on your own and you have your own little life and bubble. And I'm at peace with that today, fully. Like I can be on my own and I love being on my own, but I also enjoy the company of my friends.
How good that you did the work with the therapist, because I think a lot of
Yeah.
people don't have that. They don't want to open that Pandora's box. They're like,
Oh,
you know.
it was tough. I thought, oh my God, do I really have to do this?
Yes.
You know, because all my friends were saying, you should do it, maybe you should try it. And then I ended up doing it and I was happy.
What's the, like, is in Europe,
And it was-
is therapy seen as it okay? Like in the UK, it's a bit, like, you know, it's a little bit, not taboo, but it's less, it's not like
It's-
America. But
of course.
what's European?
It was definitely a little bit more taboo back
Yes,
then
yeah.
when I was much younger than it is now. But I don't care. I mean, my God.
Oh, for God, no. I mean, look
I
at you
didn't care
now, and
about-
and to be able to be by yourself and to be alone, and then have that strength. And then how did you end up in Australia? And
Work brought me here. I came here in 2013, discovered Australia for the first time, and met my partner, Ricky, that I'm still with today.
Which is
Fantastic.
so beautiful.
11 years, 11 beautiful years. Yeah. Ups
how
and
did you
downs
meet?
and challenging.
Tell me how you met.
But we met at the gym.
Really?
We met at the gym in Barrel.
Bowral, that's right. You were down
Sun Highlands.
Down in the Highlands.
Yes.
What were you doing
yes,
down
yes,
there
yes.
again? You were
Sun Highlands.
Were
Well, I
you-
was staying at a very good friend of mine who I met in Belgium, who moved here in the 80s and then came back and then and she said to me, she said, well, you have to stay here for at least 4 or 5 weeks and discover the country, travel in the country and explore the beauty. And I did. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was a very different, I was used to travel to Asia and Middle East and America and, all countries in Europe. But traveling to Australia was another experience.
What were your
something
first impressions?
Very remote. Like it was the first time where I thought I am so disconnected and so far away from everything, from the heart of my world, from everything that I've built in all these years. I was so disconnected.
Yeah, right.
But I was attracted to that feeling as well.
There was something
being-
about it. And Ricky, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
So did you...
I don't think I would have been able to do it on my own, like staying here on my own and just start a new life here.
So how quickly did it develop into something very serious? Because you visited and you met Ricky.
Well, we gave ourselves like a year. I traveled back and forth. He did travel as well back to Europe, and I took him on a trip everywhere. So for a year we traveled back and forth.
Long distance, yeah.
Long distance, see how it goes, and then I thought maybe it's time for me to move, try something different. I was ready for it. I was so ready for it. And I was nearly turning 40, so I was
Yeah. You want to
I was like,
settle
oh my God.
down.
Well, not really settle down.
No.
No, but I felt it was time for a change, and it was the right time to do the change, not after 40, but before 40.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like I think I couldn't do it today. Like I'm turning 50 this year, I would never be able to move again to another country, or even moving back to Europe. I wouldn't. I feel so home here.
Was it hard leaving your friends and family and
It's very hard.
going to the other side of the world?
It's very hard. It's like saying goodbye. But I still, I still keep in touch, and we still see each other a lot. Really, like all my good, close friends. We still see each other very often.
So you were sponsored to work for a fragrance distributor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did that for 9 months, 10 months.
But you already had the little brewing of the idea for Goldfield Banks.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the story about how you visited DJs to buy a souvenir. Tell us that story.
Well, I mean, one of the things that I did when I visited Sydney was to, obviously, like in any city, you visit the department stores, best-in-class stores, you think. And I discovered Davy Jones, and I went into the store and I asked one of the beauty advisors, I said, can you show me some of your local fragrance brands? Because I was very used to discover fragrance brands everywhere I was traveling to, You find local brands in Dubai, in Korea, in, Indonesia, whatever.
Yeah.
So obviously after discovering Aesop and using Aesop for many years and, buying Aesop, I thought I was going to discover some local, beautiful fragrance brands in a department store, and there was nothing on the market. And that girl, I still remember, she said, there's nothing on the market. We don't have anything. We don't have perfumes. We don't have Australian perfumes. And I thought, that's very strange. Well, it's strange because it doesn't make sense. This country has an abundance of essential oils, abundance of botanicals that can be used in fragrances, but I think no one had really the idea of, or came up with the idea of doing something with it.
No, it's remarkable when I think about it. You're right, you're 100% right. And I think, sometimes it has to do with that cultural cringe that Australia always, we're always looking outside, we're always like, the gap year, everyone just gets out of Australia as fast as they can when they finish school because they have to experience the big wide world, and what we have is right under our noses, literally.
Absolutely true.
It's sort of crazy that it took a French-Belgian man to come here and see the beauty and actually bottle it.
It's so true, so weird. But that's what you do. I mean, when you travel, you explore things like any big explorer in the 19th century, in the 18th century, 17th century. You would explore, you would come back with things, and I don't know. That's how I function. I mean, I'm inspired, and I want to do something, and obviously the French perfumery, French thing had been done for years and years and years. Everybody talks about the roses and the jasmine from Grasse, and I wanted something different. I wanted to talk about something different, different storytelling.
And you said you were also seeing, the prevalence of Australian fashion, like Zimmermann and things, kind of exploding onto the scene overseas, and you were like.
So I knew, because you could tell Australia was becoming a very trend-setting country when it came to fashion, food. Look at all your wine, well, our wines, I should say.
Our wines, you're a local now.
Yeah, A-Beauty started to become famous, Australian beauty brands, skincare. So there's a lot of things that popped up, and I thought, you know what? I think fragrances will be the next thing in Australia. And I did. And look, 10 years later, I mean, there's a lot of fragrance brands now.
There is, but you really started a trend, quite literally.
Yeah.
How did that sort of idea start to take shape, and how long did it take? And you were very brave to sort of do that. And as you've said, in Australia, without all your connections.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my connections, I had them, but without any support. From,
correct. They were on the phone, I guess.
How do you start? Like, I mean, I started with a very small amount of money because even though I sold my business and I sold my apartment, I still wanted to keep the money to buy property here first. Yeah. Secure that.
Yes.
Before putting all my money in a business where I didn't know where it was going to end. But I thought, you know what, if I have all my connections, I have all my expertise, I know a lot of perfumers, I know how the industry works, and I know the suppliers. So maybe I'll just give it a go. And I did. So I created a few fragrances, like 4 fragrances. It was Pacific Rock Moss and Desert Rosewood and things like that. And I gave it a go.
But you're working with international
I gave it a
perfumers,
go.
right?
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
had the contacts from
and my first
or
perfumer.
where were they?
Exactly, but my first perfumer was local. He was a
Beauticate?
French.
Oh yeah. Oh, was he?
He's French, yeah. François Merle-Baudouin, French perfumer, fifth generation perfumer from Grasse, who moved to Melbourne.
Oh.
He met his wife, I think, in Indonesia, and then they moved to Melbourne, and then that's how I got access to all these natives. Because he was working in Melbourne, and he was, he had a big Australian perfumer's
How did you meet him?
palette.
Did you find him?
I think I googled perfumers or whatever, perfume houses in Australia, and by hunting,
you would have spoken
and
to lots of people, and
I spoke to a lot of people, and then I ended up with him, and ended up meeting him. He was amazing, and he was the one who literally opened all the. He shared with me all the natives.
Yeah, right.
All the natives, and that's
you-
how I discovered Boronia and Blue Cypress, and I was like, this is new. This is very interesting.
And you were saying that there were classic scents all along that were using Australian ingredients.
Yeah, Dior used Australian natives in the early 60s. Opium by Yves Saint Laurent was the first fragrance to openly communicate on Australian native sandalwood.
That's amazing, yeah.
So,
So we have this untapped sort of resource that, it was tapped, but as in this unspoken about sort of...
Unspoken about. Nobody thought about Australia when it came to fragrances.
Yeah.
Not even skincare.
Yeah,
Even though Aesop, but was using natives.
So what was Boronia used in?
Diorissimo.
Diorissimo, yeah.
So even skincare was not really on the map. Like when you think of skincare, you think of French brands and Korean brands and all that, and fragrances were definitely not on the Australian map. But now they are. Now they are.
I remember when you launched, and it was just recently left Vogue to start Beauticate, and I remember getting the collateral, like all the images and the everything was so beautifully done. Like I remember just being like, wow. And then, I knew it had to be an industry star work. Like I was like, this person knows their stuff. Like it was so cinematic. I remember you had these aerial shots of like the salt.
Absolutely, the salt lakes. And I love all that. I love all the photography from certain photographers in WA. They've taken incredible shots.
Yeah, it was...
Again, things that no one understands. No one had seen them before.
Yeah.
Those aerial views of Australia.
Yeah. It took someone, it was so funny that it was your eye, you sort of saw Australia as this really beautiful, this muse that needed to be celebrated, and it's it's funny that it took someone from overseas to sort of appreciate it and to showcase it in such a beautiful way. But I remember being blown away. I mean, obviously these things, they look so glossy on the surface. It would have been a very hard process.
It was very hard.
So those early days of developing the fragrance, it took a few years, right? What was the most challenging part at that time?
The most challenging part of that time was probably the distance between Australia and the heart of our industry, which is France, still. Connecting with the world outside Australia. The lack of support from local partners.
Yes, now this is very interesting to me.
Distributors or retailers, it was very tough. That was tough. Whereas overseas, it was easy. That was challenging.
What do you think?
Because you need that drive. When you live so far away, you need to be motivated by the people that you're surrounded with and the people that you work with. And it was hard I carried this whole job on my own with my partner because he was there, he supported me, and all my friends, of course.
What do you think it was? You said that you didn't have that camaraderie that you would have had in Europe had you launched there. What do you think it's tall poppy syndrome? What do you think it is about the Australia market that didn't support you in those early days in the way that they should have? The retailers
I don't know. I think it was a lack of understanding, and obviously when you travel so much I traveled for many years in my career. I'm very worldly. I'm very international. I know what's going on, like in America, in the UK, and I found a lot of Australians were not so international. They were pretty much in their bubble, and were not very familiar with the new trends, with what's really coming up. And everyone was looking at Paris, like Paris. But there's more to Paris. Like the Parisians think now, Australia,
yes,
Asia.
they're looking for the next big thing.
You know, the next big thing. It's the reverse, whereas Australians are very much anything that's French is great.
Yes.
But on the other hand, there's so much. I mean, Australians are made out of so many different nationalities, and there's a huge diversity in demographics. So, and these people also want to discover things that are local and want to use and wear local fashion, local skincare. But fragrance was, that's new. We don't know how to handle this.
Yes.
That was very tough.
So you were having meetings with, the big retailers and things, and they were
Yes.
just like, did they not see what you were trying to do, or did they just, they didn't
Yeah, I
believe
mean,
it would work, or?
They valued what I was doing, and they had big admiration. They admired what I was doing, but they felt it wasn't for their market, whereas our e-com and our e-commerce was saying the opposite, because we had a local customer that was keen to buy our fragrances, and they were looking for it in department stores, and they were trying to find it. We couldn't find it. And I constantly had to tell them and show them, our customers are asking for it. And
People are asking.
and that took a few years, and obviously I had to go overseas. Why bother? So I went overseas, developed my brand in Europe, in the US, in the Middle East, whatever.
So there was a lot of travel during that time,
And
that was the tricky part, was that you were trying to build it overseas. You were trying to develop that interest. I guess
100%. It was exactly, and create awareness,
buzz,
and brand awareness, like showing my brand, showing my perfumes, discovering my scents, my ingredients, and all of that. So it's really, that was a very exciting period, because you talk to people that discover something new. Yeah. And I like that.
And you were just doing what you had been raised to do, like you.
Education.
Yeah, this was innate to you, right?
Absolutely.
So
and
that would have been fantastic.
communicating
And finally to do it about your own brand would have been so exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And also because fragrances is traveling. And then I discovered that through my storytelling and through my fragrances and my brand, I made people travel. But also locally, people were traveling in their own country through my fragrances, and then
Really?
COVID started.
Wow. So what sort of stories did you get from people? They were like, we've gone to go and check out where Baroni has grown, or what was it?
Exactly. People
Really?
didn't know what was in their own backyard, and they thought, well, we didn't know that sandalwood grows in Australia, in Western Australia, or we didn't know that Baronia was an Australian native, or that we are growing lavender in Tasmania, for example. People were very admirative and very curious about all these natives. And of course my fragrances. So there was an absolute appetite from day one. And I did my market research in that 1 year that I came on a visa and everything. So I knew there was an appetite, I knew there was an opportunity. Yeah. It was just pretty much, I don't know, I felt like there was, I could become a competitor in the market, because we had so much buzz and we had so much support from media, which was amazing. So there was so much buzz around the brand, and I feel that some people might have thought, ooh, Goldfield Banks might overshadow my brand. Or
Okay, so there was a bit of competitiveness.
Exactly.
With some brands.
Yeah, and some retailers were simply not ready to take on an Australian perfume house or perfume brand.
So how did you manage it? What did you do? How did you keep going?
I just kept going. I mean, we kept growing. Our e-com was big, and then obviously we had a great support from Sephora. Sephora worked with us pretty much from the early days on, and things have evolved. Adore Beauty, and then then we started our initial talks with David Jones and Meyer, and all of that has evolved, and obviously now we are.
Do you feel like you had to prove yourself on the global stage for the Australians to take you seriously?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And even the buyers here go like, oh, you know what, I discovered your brand in London, and I went to see it in Harrods, and yes, you exist, that sort of model.
Yes.
Whereas in the meantime, we have 70 countries, we retail with incredible retailers and department stores all over the world.
And you've got operations in Dubai now, and
in Paris, and so
it's a huge brand. Like, you've had amazing success.
I know, but
it's
incredible.
Beautiful. Like, we've just had the most incredible couple of days learning about agarwood, which is the oud in Australia, and the harvesting process. And Dimitri took us on a tour of his supplier, and it was amazing. Like, I now have even more respect for what goes into, creating a scent. You have a sense of it as a consumer, but I don't think you ever really think about each individual fragrance and, you know, and you know, the passion and the love that goes into it from
There's a lot.
a grower's perspective and a plantation, you know, like all the
a
little
lot goes
elements.
behind that.
Yeah.
Because we often tell the story about French growers of, you know,
Yes.
roses and jasmine, but Australian growers, they do an amazing job.
Yeah.
They do an incredible job. They're very passionate, and you only met one couple.
Tim and Fleur, his daughter, and it's a family business, and they grow sandalwood in WA, and I can tell you all about it. But it is so beautiful to see that passion, and you must encounter it every day, you know, like with the guys down in Tasmania that you were telling me about.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, you go and you meet them and you make sure that they're sustainable and you make sure that it's all...
I know, and they deserve to be in the limelight. Like they deserve to be in the spotlight because they do such a fantastic job. And without them, we wouldn't have storytelling. We wouldn't have those beautiful ingredients that we blend in our fragrances. And that's what I wanted to, you know, share with our community here. But it's great. It's great to see now the response is enormous.
Yeah, and your love and respect for Australia is palpable, you know, in everything you create, you know, and even the fact that you've bought this home here in Port Douglas is, you know, to soak up the tropics, you know, and all the smells. And what are your like, is there a scent from your collection that feels like, really feels like Dimitri, like, or is an autobiography of you?
Purple suede.
Yes, you wear that all the time.
I love purple suede. I love the lavender, oud, leather. It's me. That's my cup of tea. It's my kind of fragrances. But I also like my fresh fragrances in my collection, like Pacific Rock Moss. It's my feel-good fragrance. I personally feel whenever I'm down or I don't know what to wear, Pacific Rock Moss is, you know.
It's so beautiful.
Silky Woods Elixir.
Silky Woods Elixir is, I mean, Silky Woods is amazing, but Silky Woods Elixir is like
Elixir
next
is
level.
great,
It's
next
like,
level.
what is the difference between the two? What have you done to sort of elevate that?
A lot more oud, fig, and a lot more darker notes.
Was it milky fig? Is that right?
Yeah,
Someone was saying
it's like
milky.
a milky fig.
Fig milk.
Yeah, fig milk. But it smells a bit like that. Like
does,
that creamy, yeah, creamy. A gourmand note, but
yes,
milky.
but not sweet, not too sweet.
No,
creamy.
not at all. Whereas the original Silky Woods is a bit more vanilla.
Yes.
Woods.
And it lasts so well, the Silky Woods, like it has that,
It's
it must be
beautiful.
the oud.
Yeah, and it
that
has this
stays on
beautiful
your-
sillage, as we say. The sillage.
What is sillage to the uninitiated? What does that mean?
Well, it's what you leave behind. It's what you smell.
Oh, the trail, the
The
wake.
trail when you pass someone and you think, that smells fine.
I love that. And what's your relationship with wellness? I mean, how do you keep centered and grounded in, you know, what is a crazy life now? Like, you are traveling all the time. You have a very demanding
I know. Well,
schedule.
look, when I'm in Australia, I love swimming in the morning.
Yeah.
I have my fabulous neighbor who wakes me up at
Sarah.
6 o'clock, 6:30, gets me out of my bed and brings me swimming, which is amazing. And I need that. Big walks. I love big walks.
All year round, right? You go
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
middle
yeah.
of winter,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
like
yeah,
a good half-hour
absolutely.
swim,
Yeah.
walks.
Yeah, she even bought me beautiful socks, thermal socks to swim.
To swim in.
Yeah.
You can.
They're amazing.
They're are they like a wetsuit for your feet?
Exactly.
How
Yeah.
ingenious.
It's fantastic.
Do you do a little head cover
No,
too?
I actually don't.
Mum said that that's quite good. in
Okay, it helps?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like you lose so much heat through your head, so it's like a little wetsuit.
Oh, wow.
Like just a
Wow,
yeah, a little
unbelievable.
hood
No,
thing.
I'd love to do that. Yeah,
I can just see you with your little
Not
wetsuit
really.
socks and.
Oh. No, but the socks are cute.
Yeah.
Socks are cute. So I do that. I swim. I love big walks. I like to sleep at least 8 hours. I need 8 hours.
Well, we know now
Of
how
rest.
important sleep is now. You know, you're like
Yeah.
we know so much more. It used to be this badge of honor, right? You know, all the execs and all the entrepreneurs would be like, "I get by on 5 hours sleep a night," but actually,
No,
you're doing
I
yourself
can't
a
function
huge
like
disservice.
this.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I'd rather get up very early in the morning, work hard the whole day, but I need to have that 8
So
hours
what
sleep.
time do you go to sleep? Bed.
I go to bed like around sometimes 9:30,
Yeah,
10
brilliant.
o'clock. But then of course it
Get up
depends.
early.
It really depends. If I'm on a deadline or I need to finish something, then I'll work very late. And also that came in the last few years. As soon as I started having my team overseas, I sort of am more free at night, so I can go to bed earlier. Whereas before we would have long calls, long Zoom calls, for
Yeah.
hours and hours. And yeah.
That's a lot. And you were talking to me about, you know, burnout and how you feel like, yeah, you must feel pulled in so many different directions. You've got your swimming. What else do you do to keep yourself asleep? Like, how do you keep yourself sane and not overwhelmed?
My partner is an excellent cook, excellent chef. So he makes me great meals.
Oh, Ricky. Thank you, Ricky.
I love to cook, but I don't have the time to cook, so he makes me great meals.
That's
so
wonderful.
good food, good sleep, and yoga. I like to do my exercises. I like to stretch every day. I like to do minimum of yoga, minimum of exercises. It doesn't have to be long, but stretching is
moving your body.
Very good, moving your body, fresh air, just walk around, have a coffee, things like that, just to clear your mind a bit. Yeah.
And with Goldfield Banks, what impact do you want to make on the world? What's your vision?
Well, look, we've come that far, right? Nearly 9 years.
Yeah.
Today, it's great overseas to be considered as, this absolutely beautiful crown jewel of a brand, of an Australian luxury fragrance house that, I've established and with the whole team. And you know what? I look at long term, and it's, every country has its flagship brand. And I mean, my aim is to be that flagship brand in fragrances, and that people will always, be able to go back to Goldfield Banks and have a beautiful Goldfield Banks experience in fragrances. It's so important.
I think you've nailed that already.
Flagship brand. Well, we're working hard. We're working hard. Yeah.
And what's been your proudest moment so far, both personally and professionally?
Professionally, I remember when we launched at Barney's in New York, and I was a big fan of Barney's. Having the name of my brand engraved in the marble, they had like a marble wall where they would engrave all the brands they had in the department store. You had Loewe, and you had,
oh wow, that sense of permanence.
Franza Schuler and all that, can't remember. And then you had Goldfield and Banks, and then I thought, oh my God,
I've made it.
I made it. It was that moment.
How
yeah,
fabulous.
100% I made it. More than anything else. I mean, obviously we work with, big department
It's like
stores.
having your star on the in Hollywood.
On the Hollywood, exactly. It was a bit like that because Barney's was really, it was a very tricky department store. They were very picky, the most picky department store you can imagine, but they so believed in the brand, and we did so well. And then unfortunately they went under. Yeah. But I still have a picture of that.
Oh, good. That needs
Kept
to go
a picture
in a frame.
of that. And when celebrities wear your fragrances, you think, oh, wow, that's great.
Yes.
Things like that. And then personally, I think, personally I'm very proud of the fact that I made the change. I moved to the other side of the world.
Yes.
Made it, overcome a lot of hurdles, overcame all the struggles with, mental health, challenges, and ultimately, built this beautiful life.
You did.
Yeah, in Australia.
You took risks and they paid off.
Big risks. Big risks, but it makes you stronger.
Yeah, it does.
It makes you stronger.
It does. Each time you took a risk and it pays off, you get that little bit more confidence, don't you? And you trust your decisions more, and you think.
And you're less scared.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of anything anymore. Like nothing scares me anymore.
Yeah, nothing.
So like you've lived everything.
Yeah.
All the challenges.
Yep.
Like, when you read bad news on your emails, before it would affect me, you go, oh my God, become very emotional and all that. Now it sort of doesn't affect me anymore. Like I'm like, okay, well,
I've done
there's
this
a reason and there's this, and we will do that instead. And it's
it's problem solving.
Exactly. It makes you stronger. It makes you a little bit more balanced as well.
Wow. And that's also age, right? Age and experience. No, we're so proud of
terrible.
it. Not at all. I think it's just. I think as we get older,
it's true.
It's just runs on the board. Just chalk it up to experience, and you've dealt with this before. You've seen it before, and the world hasn't ended. So
it's one of the only things that's great about aging.
Yes.
Is you become wise.
That's right.
You think twice. You don't make the same mistakes twice.
Yes.
So but other than that, you don't want to age.
No, let's stay youthful forever. All right, so your sacred six. Let's go through your sacred six. Number one,
my first fragrance.
Yes, Pacific Rock Moss.
My first perfume.
So beautiful.
Feel good fragrance. Everyone should have one at home. Everyone.
Oh, it's so beautiful. This sort of salty notes.
I know, I've been using it. I mean, obviously.
Yes. I might just put some on now, just for fun. Yep. So what was the motivation behind this scent again?
Look, when you create an Australian perfume house, your first fragrance has to be an aquatic.
Yes.
Like, that's what we have, right? Our beaches, our coastal lifestyle.
Yes.
And I really, really wanted to create a memorable aquatic fragrance. One that really smells natural, one that is really more transportive, rather than just marine, you know.
Yes.
This one is more than that. And it was one of the first aquatic fragrances in the niche category. Because back in the days, and that's also one of the things that I think was confusing for people here in retailers, is a niche perfume house would do an aquatic. And 9 years ago, 10 years ago, that was so not done, because niche was all about wood and amber and deep, spicy fragrances, you know. And I came with something fresh, aquatic,
Yes.
but that was so the essence of this country.
That was very important, yeah.
It was very important to
Yeah.
have that, and it still remains one of our best-selling fragrances around the world.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So yeah, and still, I mean, everybody loves
So that's
it.
a feel-good one. That's what you.
It's a feel-good
Yeah,
fragrance
yeah.
that I think everybody should have.
Does-
And then I have my personal favorite.
Yes.
This purple suede.
Purple suede, I love.
Yeah, I love purple
This
suede.
is my favorite, I think.
I
of the
just
whole.
I just wear it all the time. I just think, and you know what? It's the one that compliments me. And
I noticed you
get
sprayed the back
so-
there.
Always like you.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think when I turn my head like this, I just enjoy this fragrance.
Sillage.
The sillage.
I want sillage. I like spraying my hair.
But it's good. It's good because at least you will have a
God, that's
much
beautiful.
more.
I think that's
That
what-
is.
Yeah, that is.
And you know what? It
just-
has a note of rose and raspberry
Oh.
with oud and lavender and leather, and that it's such a beautiful fragrance.
Is it gourmand?
No. It's very incensey,
Incensey.
smoky. And
Smoky.
it's- yeah,
But it's got that
smoky, really.
sweetness though. There's still a sweetness. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
exactly.
It's not considered a gourmand. Okay.
And then I'm a very big fan of masks.
Yes.
One of my favorite masks is, I've got a Sisley mask, which I
Yes.
don't have with me here.
Oh, is that the black rose?
No.
Oh, what is it? Is it-
It's the Masque Givre.
Oh, okay.
Masque Givre.
I don't know.
And then the velvet, I like the noir velour, I think something is beautiful.
stunning, yeah.
Oh my God, amazing. But the SOS Comfort Clarins.
Clarins. Not
I love
Clarins.
this one because you know what, this one has, when you smell this one has mango. And mango is so tropical.
And they use a lot of Australian.
They do. They
Yeah,
do.
botanicals, you said.
Yeah. They use Australian
Ingredients, yeah,
botanicals.
that's so cool.
I love this brand. I've always loved this brand. So anyway, this one is really cool. SOS Comfort.
Okay, SOS Comfort.
Voilà, comfort, I should
Voilà,
say.
comfort.
And also this one you can leave it on your skin at night, and you don't have to rinse it. or
Oh, I
anything.
like that.
You
So
leave
it's
it
a sleeping
on,
mask.
and then in the morning you wake up and you're all
You're very glowy.
fresh and
Yeah,
glowing.
your skin is very good.
One other thing that I find very important is books.
Yes.
Obviously, we're here in our home in the tropics. I don't have that many books. Well, I have a few, but more in my apartment in Sydney. But I love books. I'm a big fan of interior.
coffee table,
Oh my God, yes, it's my passion.
Is it? Your collection
Interior,
is huge.
decorating. I wish I had more time.
Well, you've done a beautiful job here.
Yeah, but I wish I had more time.
More time to do it.
I love the whole process of imagining an interior and designing and
Mood boards.
making curtains and all of that,
Yes.
seeing it all
Yes.
coming together. So yeah, so we're thinking about buying a house on the northern beaches, and that will be my big project.
Yes, good. We'll be neighbours.
We'll be neighbours. But yeah, interior books is very important.
Yes.
Another thing that I'm very, very sensitive to is a watch.
Oh, yes.
I like to have a good watch. I mean, this one is just like a normal little Tissot, but I
beautiful.
like to have a good watch.
Yes.
You know, you can be in a t-shirt,
Yep.
just have your hair done, a good watch,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
look elegant.
It's just a finishing touch.
A finishing touch.
Yeah, it's
so
beautiful.
having a
That's
good
a nice
watch
one. Yes.
is,
What's your favourite
I find
watch
very important.
of your collection?
My favorite watch, well, I love this one. I love the Cartier Tank, beautiful
Yeah,
watch.
beautiful.
And I love Swatch,
Swatch, yeah.
easy
Yeah.
for
yeah.
travel,
Yep.
you know.
It's good. It's good.
It's perfect and it's
Yeah.
timeless. And then I love eating fruits, and I love passion fruit. I'm a big
You
fan.
grow you have your own tropical fruit trees
Well, we have
here.
a lot of we have passion fruits, and we have a lot of everything here. Yeah,
Yeah.
mangoes and star fruits, and
Oh.
I love my tropical fruits
How lovely.
around the house and around the area.
Yes.
I love them.
Nutritious, nourishing. Yes.
Yes, and one thing
Okay.
that is very, very important is I love my swims close
Yes.
by in the Mossman River.
Oh my gosh.
And
you're telling
the
me.
waters are healing. We'll do it next time. But the
yeah.
waters are healing. I love jumping in those waters. They are spiritual, and you feel the difference. You come out of the water, you feel a different person. You feel more, I don't know, balanced and healthy and focused.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Those
good.
healing waters of the Mossman Gorge.
I love
Mossman
that.
River.
How lucky. That's such a special thing. Oh,
And the pillow.
bed linen.
Last but not least, bed linen. I am obsessed with bed linen.
Oh, I love. I'll have to
no.
show you a shot of the bedroom because you've got your beautiful sheets. You've got Papillon, the name of the house.
Yes.
On the
Neighbor house, Papillon.
Yes.
But I love, I'm obsessed with bed sheets.
Yes.
Every time I go to Europe, I come back with bed sheets.
And these are Zara Home.
Zara Home in
From
Milan.
in Milan, yeah.
Yep, they've got beautiful
I love
collections that
those.
we're not available elsewhere, but they're great.
Yeah, they've
I
got so
love a good bed. I love good pillows. I love
if you're in
spending money
Milan.
on bed linen.
Yes.
It's a fetish.
I love it
Very
too.
important
Clean bed linen is like one of life's greatest
I love
pleasures. Like you wash
I
your
love
sheets,
it.
and I'm like, it's sheet washing day, and I'm like, just get into those sheets and be like,
I
oh,
love that feeling.
Me too.
Oh, it's the best.
It's
It's
life's
the
little
best.
pleasures. We have to take them and we have to enjoy them because
I know. I
What
know.
else is
and
there,
the
right?
colors and I
Yeah,
don't know. There's
joy.
something about the bed that is for me so important. Making up a bed in the morning. It's a ritual. It's pleasure. It's I don't know. It's important in my
special.
life.
Totally. Oh well,
There you go.
that is magnifique. Thank you. I just loved our chat. I love
Thank you,
hanging out with you.
Sigourney,
I
for
just-
having me.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll go for a swim next time.
Yes,
for sure.
100%.
Absolutely.
I'll be here.
And I had the best time
I
with you in
did
those last
too.
48 hours.
Thank you. Thank you
my
for
God.
having me. It was so much
Welcome.
fun. And thank you for your interview. We're starting work on the pool today. The guys from Blue Haven are here and they're digging the hole. It's amazing to watch the digger and bobcat making easy work of our backyard. Unfortunately, we hit some sandstone, so they had to get the jackhammer out. Meanwhile, tile shopping today. Blue Haven have recommended overlook tiles for our waterline tiles because they have a huge range of onyx, which is a beautiful Spanish glass mosaic range. We are doing a white limestone paver, so we want the waterline tile to just blend in. So I decide on a matte white marble looking tile in a larger format. A few days later and the hole is much bigger. Now it's time to lay the formwork and it's finally time to do the custom concrete shell. So exciting. We are pouring concrete for the pool today. We've got the guys from Blue Haven here. That is actually mesmerising. I could watch that concrete process all day. It's like icing a cake, but bigger. Looking really good. Now it just has to cure for 3 weeks and it's time to get the pavers down. So the pool project is coming along very nicely. I've got a really good vantage point from up here where my new office setup is. So we can't do anything further on the pool until we finish the wall. We're going to build a brick wall around here and then we have to put the glass wall in. We've had lots of delays due to heavy rains, but we finally landed on the paving. We drove all over Sydney searching for the perfect bright white limestone, and it turned out that the perfect stone was right under our noses and it was more affordable too. Gaia Stone is a local natural stone supplier located in our neighbouring Ingleside, but Lucas, the owner, will make sure that you get the sample wherever you are. Unlike other tiling suppliers, they don't have a big warehouse and showroom, so that means they're able to keep the overheads low and pass the savings on to us. It was really important to me that it was grippy so that the kids don't slip on it. Lucas let us have the stone for a little while we tested it in different lights and rain and made sure it wasn't slippery. We went with the Andes white limestone and it was great because it didn't change colour when you add water, unlike many of the other stones which went a lot darker. To really create a sense of space, we ended up extending the pavers all the way to the deck, and I couldn't believe the result when it was all finished. It looks incredible. It really accentuates the curves from our custom concrete Blue Haven pool, which is looking so good. So now we just finish the fences, then the pebblecreting, and then the certifier comes and they'll fill it up. So excited. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Beautiful Inside. If you enjoyed this, the best thing you can do is share it with a friend, leave a review or give us a rating.